Hello to everyone. This is Barbara, Cha-Cha, or Tango Tarot. And normally this is something that I would be putting on my channel, Emotional, Motion, Inspirational. But I felt compelled to put it here on this channel. I guess let's just call it a blog, if we will, okay? I will be putting things on that channel more, like doing with emotional, inspirational things, but emotion and human emotion and the things that are out and about that I've been doing and just stepping my feet into that have to do with Earth, and also humans and the emotions and the Earth and the pull of everything that just kind of brings everything all together in a most beautiful picture. It's hard to separate each one. However, I don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to just see, okay? I'm just speaking. I did put a couple of things on my channel, and it is called Emotional Motion Inspirational. And I started that in January. I did it January the 1st because I had been to the American Legion, and I came back. It was New Year's, and I made a big video about everything and welcoming everyone into the coming age of Aquarius. And there was just a great deal of emotion and love to spill out to everyone, and I just felt so positive, such a positive flow that night. And Noah was not drunk. But I did another thing, and I put them on, and they went quite well. However, they only stayed up for 7 or 8 days, but it isn't the fault of anything except mine. Somehow when I went on and I was checking and thinking I was going to do something else, of course I wanted to do my tarot reading because I had been missing it for so long. I did something really unusual. I'm not quite sure what I did, but I somehow deleted them. And when I deleted them, of course, they went, it seemed to just tower down everywhere. But I believe that it served its purpose for that time, and things like that. It's for a purpose, and you just cannot let it bother you, okay? Get under your skin, so to speak. And I wasn't going to let it bring my very good mood down. I had something else do that. Not to go there. But actually, I was thinking of the cosmo, the cosmic, the universe, and the way it is constant, it is constantly expanding. It hasn't just been put into place, it stands still. It is constantly expanding, which I'm sure you know. But I started thinking, because I was going through some books that that I was gathering up, and I was kind of donating them to people that I had studied in college. And I kept one, but I don't know for how long. And when I came across it, and the others that I donated, which is, of course, Cosmic Perception, one of the old college books, and I started kind of just fanning through them a little bit and thinking about how I felt about human emotion, and also how so much time and so much study is done with the planetary alignment and how it moves, how its actual movement has input, uh, an imprint, it seems, on emotional motion of human. Now, I came with the emotional motion inspirational because I use it in my writing to back me with my writing, and also in my paintings that I do, and in my anything that I do that I feel kindness giving off to uh, everyone in life, uh, just to keep that emotional motion flowing and letting it be inspirational. And also, in the same token, it bringing me inspiration and inspiring me also, making me a better person to keep growing. Now, I will not tell you that all of it has been a picnic and that it's always the emotional motion that I've experienced, like anyone else in life, has always been a happy emotion of flow, emotional flow of motion, inspiration. But I take inspiration, we do, in everything that we go through in life. Every emotion that we encounter, whether it puts a smile on our face or it does not, it does inspire us in some way to do something a little bit different, or to see something a little bit different, or to feel something a little bit different. And know that there is something in it that is nudging us to go forward a little bit differently, or with a newfound perspective. So when I was studying for my my degree, and it was had to do a thesis, okay, of just it's just commonly done. It's required, and so you think, you think, what kind of thesis could I probably come up with? What kind of theory? What? But it can't be just something you just pick and go, oh yeah, I'll toy around with that. Something that really you're gonna want to keep with you, that is really in you. And so I chose Life Continuum. And of course I was younger, and it just kind of stayed with me, and I was happy that I did it. And I won't say I was the most intelligent person in the class, or I got the highest mark by any means, but I did well. And that just kind of stayed with me, and I still believe in Life Continuum. And I just really can't get into that, but I will discuss it at some time on my other channel. Now, as I was saying, when I saw the college books and everything, and I donated them to some people that were looking for things like that, because I just was not using them anymore, I started to think about how to put something emotional out that wasn't just purely just preaching on emotion and flowing it out. That I've got so much in, but I like to put it out in a way that maybe will touch in a gentle sort of way. And so I also came across this little ball, well, it's not little, but this ball bearing, which is heavy, it's solid, it's dark, it looks very kind of blah. And I picked this up and I kept it from something after I had bought a mobile of the solar system over a year ago. And my intention was put it together. I didn't want one that was already done. I wanted to paint each thing myself and then put up the mobile, and it was just going to be a pleasure to do it. To my surprise, I shouldn't have been very surprised, but I was, because there had been the notion going for some time that Pluto had been excluded from the solar system, and that it just wasn't considered a planet anymore. Well, I kind of let that go. I believe it's a planet. It's in our solar system, and I'm having nothing of that. When I put the little kit down and I lined it all out, everything was there. And I started looking, and I'm going, wait a minute. Something's missing. Well, the company that made those mobiles decided that they were not going to make a Pluto for that mobile. I was so upset over one tiny little thing that I believed in. So what do? I went and I found something, a little bitty like styrofoam, and I painted my own Pluto, and I made sure that it went on that mobile. I'm saying mobile. Some people call them mobiles, okay, but mobile. And that was all going through my mind today, and I was thinking, something small like that. And I've heard it called that Pluto is, the bottom of the barrel, okay? Well, I guess that's how you could look at it, because it's the smallest, it's the furthest out, really. And now that so much play has come in with Pluto, and of course we had Mars, and we've got Uranus, that is affecting so much, and and they're having good effects. The way the movement is in a line in Capricorn, that it just brought to my mind so much of just the human emotion here, and how everything does, yes, just continue to clock around and spin in its own orbit, okay? In orbit, yes, and as it seems to just kind of bounce and move and through things, and as it touches and swoops into one zodiac, of course, it's just a continuous, it's like a chain reaction. Of course, it reacts on others, and there is movement, constant emotional movement, life continuum, if you will. And then we have the impact of the emotional motion. So if you bear with me a little bit here, okay? And like I said, here we have like the sun, and let's just say another planet, and they're just constantly spinning in motion, constant motion. And at times in life, everything, it's constant motion. Life is in continuum. Emotion is in motion. But there will be times in our life when something will come along just out of the blue, or maybe you've seen it come, but then when it finally clashes with you. Even though everything, life is still in continuum, life continuum, emotion, it doesn't seem like that to you at the time. It seems that life comes to a dead still. There can be no joy found. There can be no happiness. There can be no of the things that you are normally feeling. And so you shut down. It feels like shut down, and life comes to a standstill. It's very hard to hold on to the fact that life is still in motion. And it is an emotion, and everyone around you is still in that continual motion. And they suddenly notice that you're not. And you have so many people coming at you from so many directions, wanting to fix it for you, wanting to help you out of it. And isn't there times and I know people are going through things like this now. Isn't there times when you've ever gone through it, or you're going through it, when you just want to say, stop it. Leave me alone. Let me have this to myself. I will let you know when I'm done with this feeling. Yet, in order to make everyone else happy, we will muss down those feelings sometimes and not allow ourselves to get fully through them. In order to heal, in order to move forward, and to keep going through life continuum, and with grace, and with effort, and with knowledge, and with inspiration, with lessons that have just been learned. We must give ourselves this loving, healing time. Embrace yourself in whatever you're going through, whether it be the most wonderful experience of your life, and others just can't quite see why it would be to you. Don't worry about it. Experience it. Embrace it. Love it. Grief hits people in so many different ways. Some people deeper than others. Some people feel like they just don't feel like they can go on in life anymore with grief. But if you just allow yourself to let it flow out and claim it for yourself, it will come out. And some griefs never ever go completely away. They just get easier and dimmer as you go on, and soon they become a memory. Aren't these the wonderful things about emotion in life? And I do so know how everyone would love for, psychics such as myself, with other talents, but it does not matter, because psychic pretty much says it all. And I do know that everyone would just so much love to sit down in front of someone, or to see it on a video. Someone just lay out the cards in front of them and say, it's going to be this way, and this way, and this way, and this way, and on this date, and this date, and this date, and this date. It's going to be exactly this way. Who would not love that if someone could do that for you? But the whole beauty in being able to see things and lay them out. And when it's done in the videos that is normally done in card reading, in general, where it's for just in general for everyone, cannot possibly be specified for an individual person, then it is nice that you can at least maybe get one or two feelings from it that might touch you and let you know that yes, that's what I've been feeling, or yes, I would like that's where I feel something is going for me. But even in the very personal, in-depth readings that can be quite accurate, the beauty of it is that to be able to see something and lay it out for someone lets you have that picture, that insight, and it also allows a path to fork for you, because now that you have seen it, or you can anticipate it, you can choose to take an entirely different path. So whatever is ever laid out to you and told, this, and it can be seen, and it can be seen quite accurate. Know that that does not have to stand that way. But I know that you already know these things, but I wanted to touch upon it. Oh, and now, as I was talking about the planets, I am so into Earth now because there's so many things going on that we just really need to nurture Earth. Because whenever I hear the terms divine masculine and divine feminine, I'm sure, and I hope that that's this way we're going to. When I hear divine masculine, I see the universe, everything above us, the planetary, the universe, the maker, God of the universe, and the constant expansion of it. To me, that is divine masculine. Divine feminine is the very earth that we walk upon, that we put our feet on, that ground us, that have so many surprises still within her. Divine feminine, that you just never know. But we can predict certain amounts, or we think we can, about how Mother Earth is going to respond to any given situation. But she can surprise us. And divine masculine also can give us many surprises. So many wondrous surprises. And some that we're not expecting. We can never be 100% sure. For we are not in control. We are emotional, motion vessels in this world, in this universe, on this earth. And so, when I was thinking of Pluto and Mars and Uranus dancing through Capricorn, and how, and it's really a good area for them to be like bouncing and clicking on, because it really is setting off such a wonderful chain reaction through all the zodiacs. And I believe everyone will agree. And so when I think about Pluto in this little darkness, okay, you will understand it, because through telescopes that reach, it looks like a white mountainous beauty. but it is a frozen minus 230 degrees Celsius, covered by substances we know as gases, frozen. Nitrogen, carbon monoxide, and methane. Just think about it. The telescope sees it as this most beautiful white mountainous look. How deceiving. And doesn't that really kind of blend with things that we see here in life? So how we can picturesque something and our eyes see it one way, but we do not see what lies beneath, what it truly, truly is. And we have to discover these things. This is part of the pain that we go through. We must discover these things for ourselves. No one can tell us. That's not a beautiful white mountainous. It's really this and this and this. But appearances can be quite beautiful, yes, but they can have so many repercussions of things that we didn't know the truth of. And it is so true, I've heard, and I know, I've read this in a religious document, and I won't say it's the Bible because it wasn't, that you can only love someone to the degree that you know them. And you know that it's true. It takes years and years and years of knowing someone and knowing them better and knowing them better and better and better. But yes, you can experience love with someone that you've known for a short time, but you can only love them to the degree that you know them, you understand. And as you know them better, that's another degree, and so on and so on. And Pluto, also, telescopes have revealed that in that little iceous cap of gas has an encrust of a heart shape. Imagine that. On cold, frozen, beautiful, mountainous looking, appearing to be snow-capped. Do you get it? Okay, I knew you would. But yes, it does have the encrest of a heart in the visible area. And it seems to have like gentle boiling water. But it's nothing but nitrogen and other gases that are frozen, and that is like a mist or a fog that that gives us the appearance of that. Oh, and of course, recent pictures of that were taken of Mars, and of course Mars has been in play here for us too. That red planet is colored red, and the beauty that it portrays. Okay, imagine this: it's colored in such a color, red, because that is rust in dirt, rust in the rocks, giving off such a beautiful appearance. Yet it's rust. And you know how some people will buy something and it's all rusted, they're excited about it, and they want to rush home and they want to sand off that rust, polish it up and bring it back to something they believe it once was. But then other people see the beauty in leaving it in its rusted, old state. Compares very much to emotions in life and people. And this is surprising too, because although it's red, it appears the way that there's ripples on it. It appears to be melting, rippling, dripping, chocolate flowing over. I found that a very, I don't know, enticing, but kind of a, I don't know, a rough way of looking at it too, because of, just imagine, our hearts can see something in such beauty and then turn around another moment or time in life and see it for the hard coldness that it is. It would be wonderful if we never had to experience that, but we do. Oh. And it will have dust storms around it, like I would say sandstorms that are churning around it. Sometimes the storm will start, and it is so much that it makes the substance of it, it just makes the substance of the planet almost not visible. Not clear, not visible. Another aspect of love. Oh, and and so we just move a little further, okay? Because here now we have Uranus doing its thing. We can't forget, and it's often dubbed ice giant, since 80% or more of its mass is made again of water and like methane and just ammonia in ice form. And unlike the other planets, it appears to be at a tilt on the side moving, but of course that is the way that it looks because its position appears to be on its side. And how would a round planet have a side? Well, I guess it goes according to its axis, okay, or node, or however you want to label axis, Earth, nodes, planets, other planets, and so it appears to be the only planet that appears to be on its side. So far that as it orbits the sun on its side, the axis of the spin of it is, the axis is pointing to the star. Yet it hits the coldest temperature of all the planets. Surprising Neptune. I'm not Neptune. Ooh, I'm sorry, Neptune. Neptune must be creeping up somewhere. But surprising is Uranus. It does bring quite a bit of change. And it like our life, it is surprising. It is appealing. appears to be in a position that it's not, but allows us to look at it, analyze it, okay? Analyzing, bringing our philosophy of everything around. And of course, you know, when we hear of planets being in retrograde, and you know what retrograde is, the meaning is that something stops and then it starts to go backwards. Well, none of our planets ever do that, actually. It's just that in the position they're in, from a distance observing through telescope, it could appear to do that. But the whole thing about a planet being said to be in retrograde is that however it is in motion and in the zodiacs and moving and force and creating the environmental emotional pulls and the things that it does. It's us humans that are in retrograde. We are going back and observing what has been and bringing it forward. And going back and observing, analyzing, putting philosophy to it, comparing it to where we're headed, and we know we're headed, and where we are right now, and where we think we're headed. We, the humans, and our emotions are in retrograde. I just find it such an interesting and wonderful concept to try to put the cosmic flow of things in the universe in comparison with the human emotion and how it goes, and to try to do it in a much more humanly emotional thing, so that we know that we are constantly changing. Nothing ever stays the same. And I have also been talked to people, and words come out of their mouth about about love or any other type of emotion that they're experiencing. Like, I'm not happy. I have been happy. I want to stay happy. Happiness is fleeting. It is like a butterfly that is with and creating all kinds of good, emotional, happy, bubbly, all the time. But happiness is fleeting. It reaches a plateau. And then we must experience another emotion. And it doesn't always have to be a really bad negative one. But we suddenly see that there is something else we need to experience. And so we go on and we experience that, or another and another emotion. And then all at once we realize, hey, where was that really nice, fine, happy experience I was experiencing, back yonder? And we start to miss it. So we start to label ourselves as not being happy. Happiness is fleeting, but it's not recapturable. It takes effort. And sometimes it doesn't take effort. It just takes the knowledge, the waking up to the fact that we don't feel that. And we haven't felt that for a while. And that, because we have missed it, is going to bring us back circle again. Grab onto that happiness again and experience it for its duration and go down into a valley and back up again. Human emotions, they're all so worth everything. Every feeling that you have, everything that you experience is part of your growth. And it will make you strong if it's something bad. It will make you so strong just to allow you stuff to get through it. And embrace all the happiness that you can when you have it. And embrace change. Change just makes you open up and flourish and grow and be more than you ever dreamed that you could be. I have had so many changes and dips in my life, and downs and ups and downs and ups, and so many trials that I could not even begin to tell you all of them. I just got to a point where I felt like I would say to myself, I am a reed. I will bend like a reed in the wind, but I will not break. But sometimes we can't help but break. But we mend. We mend if we're good to ourselves. And I want all of you to be so good to yourself. I think that there are just so many expressions, so many different people, so many different ways of showing emotion, that not one is wrong. Not one is completely wrong, and not one is completely right. The whole point in philosophy is that my way of thinking is not right for everyone, and everyone else is thinking is not right for me, and vice versa. It's just, you open up one way of philosophy, and when you look at that, you realize that one way of philosophy branches out into two, and then that two branches out into two more, and so on and so on and so on. Keep your efforts and your minds and your emotions open. There's always something waiting for you. I have so much enjoyed being here and talking. And I hope that in some way, maybe it has touched someone. Maybe 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 would be good. But may peace and happiness be upon you. And know that you're a human. Human. Not a super being that can just get everything done. I hope that you will watch when I do things on my Emotional channel, for it most certainly will show up also. I will keep doing more vlogs, but I want to keep my very emotional things over in there. But I did want to, since this is my cha-cha or tango tarot reading channel, I did want to blend some astronomical things with human emotion to make it on the level. Thank you so much. I hope that you will like and subscribe to my channel. And I will be back with some readings. I hope to be able to lay some surprises on you, some good ones. I am Barbara. Thank you so very much. May Spirit be with you, and may love constantly be tagging you on the shoulder.